rear diff, and for the active yoke, I changed everything. Everything ran good. Bled the system. Did a trans relearn. Changed the fluid to the trans, and then I noticed I started to leak fluid between the T case and the transmission. It was seeping while the car is off. I won't drive the car for a couple of days, and I'll move the car up a little bit, and I have a nice little puddle of fluid. I couldn't tell if it was clutch fluid for the transmission or gear oil, because the color is about the same. And I tried smelling it, but because transmission fluid and gear oil has a different scent, so you could tell the difference. So I couldn't get the scent. So what I did was I drained the T case first. Now the T case in the Evo X MR, it takes almost a full quart. It's like 0.85, like almost a full quart. So I was like, okay, let me. I have a reservoir that measures exactly 1 full quart. Let me drain the T case to see if I almost get a full quart out. If I do, then I know it is a transmission leak. If I don't, then I know it's a T case leak. So I drained it, and it was almost at a full quart, and I knew it was the trans. So that's why I removed the T case. Now I'm gonna show you guys the vehicle and what I had to do to remove it, and what I didn't have to do to remove it, and wound up still doing it, but realized it after the fact that I ain't had to do it. So let's show them the car, Evo X MR, 50,000 miles, 2010, runs good. So let's just imagine everything is on. This is where I wasted time at. Leave the driver's side axle alone. I took everything out. You don't have to. I don't know if the manual's the same way, but on the auto, you do not need to take the driver's side axle out at all. So let's just say if everything was on, you got your axle here in the middle, you got the castle nut here in the front with the collar pin. First thing you do, spray some PB blaster on the castle nut, okay? Because you're obviously gonna have rust. Take the collar pin out with a needle nose, break the castle nut loose, take the washer out, and that's done. Then you come here to the strut. There's 2 bolts that come here. Hit it with the impact. It comes out. Then you have your ABS sensor. There's a 10 millimeter right here and a 12 up here on both this bolt and this bolt here, and now the ABS sensor is loose. If you don't do that and you pull this forward, you could damage the sensor. It can rip. So I did that and broke everything loose, and I'm good. This is the part where I wasted time. I didn't have to do any of this. You had to do this on the passenger side, 'cause that's where the TK is at. But I did not have to do it here. Now, let me show you, get these gloves off, the engine bay real quick. A lot of guys is saying you could get to those 3 bolts on the TKs, the ones I showed you that's on the top that you really can't see, that you can get it from here. I already started taking pipes off. This is off already. I tried that way already. Okay, let me get this off. I tried that way already, and it wasted time. I wasted about 20 minutes here. Put the camera here. So let's just say if the T case is here, those 2 bolts is gonna sit right next to the inlet pipe of the turbo. It's gonna be like right over here. It's nearly impossible to get to it because the turbo compressor housing has this bracket right here that has 2 bolts. I was able to get one of them out. This bracket supports the compressor housing to the actual head, and the other end of this bracket has a bolt that's underneath the thermostat housing. In order to get to that bolt, you need to take all this. Shit out. Now you gotta drain coolant. You gotta take the thermostat housing, all that for a bolt. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do all that. I'm gonna waste time. Let me find a way to hit it from the bottom and just leave the top alone. Because I'm a type of person, I like to try to find easier ways to get stuff off. So I wasted time here and I wasted time here. So I would say the time that I spent in these two areas is about an hour. I mean, I could pretty much drop an axle in like 15 minutes. So I wasted about an hour here. So let's just say the whole job took 8 hours instead of 9. Now this is where it's tough. The